Hello students, welcome to FS Cloud.
We have an app called Careers Cloud which you can go and download it from the Play Store. So after downloading it, you can easily log in using your Gmail ID. Once you have logged in, you will be redirected to a home page which contains 4 tabs beneath it. One is Home, the other is All Courses, next is My Courses, and the last one is a Doubt Session. So under All Courses, you can access various types of courses like Reasoning, Quant, English, and also exam specific courses can also be accessed under this All Courses. If you click this Crack Current Affairs, you will be redirected to this page. So under this, you can see various tabs that are available. So here, if you see, the current affairs will be available in English medium, this under Hindi medium, and here banking awareness, we will provide you the monthly compilation of the banking news and current affairs exam PDF, and also special current affairs, which includes mainly the budget, the union budget, the economic survey, which is very important from the exam perspective. And this is topic wise content where that topics news related to the specific topic, they will be combined together and provided to you. For example, see appointments. All the appointments in that particular month will be combined together in a specific place. And similarly, in case of banking, economic news, so all will be combined together. So this will be easy for you to relate to each other news. Next, you can access the daily current affairs on a daily basis, weekly basis, and also on a monthly basis. So after reading the weekly or the daily news, you can also attend our quiz in order to strengthen your knowledge. Under the monthly current affairs, if you see, there are 2 types of PDF that are available. One is the pocket PDF, the other one is the normal PDF. This pocket PDF will give you a brief content of our current affairs, and this will provide you a detailed analysis of the current affairs. So it is always preferable to read this detailed analysis and then have a go through of this pocket PDF. Next is that we also provide you the PIB news apart from the current affairs. So you can go and access our PIB news on a daily basis from this path. And as I mentioned, this special CA covers very special topics like budgets and economic survey. After reading the content provided in this PDF, you can go and attend the quiz given below. And next is the exam perspective PDF. So if you see IBPS PO mains, IBPS RRB clerk, SBI clerk, so these are all exam perspective PDF. So if you go and check, these PDF will contain around 5 to 6 months of the current affairs, which has high chances of which are high chances of being asked in this SBI clerk mains exam. So it is very useful to go and read this PDF from an exam perspective point. Today, we will be covering September 1st week banking and finance awareness news. Moving to the first news. The first news is about a co-branded credit card that has been released. So if you see, the 2 parties that are involved in releasing the credit card are SBI Card and Payment Services Limited and Flipkart, which is nothing but an e-commerce site. Okay, so these 2 parties together, they have launched this Flipkart SBI credit card. So here if you see, this is available on 2 payment networks. Those are Visa and MasterCard. Okay, so for any card to function, it requires a payment network. Now, why is a payment network required? And what does that payment network actually do? See, there is here suppose there's a customer. Okay, he or she has this Flipkart SBI card. So he goes to that merchant's outlet, buy some material from that. Okay, so he has to make payment to the merchant, right? So he will swipe, the merchant will collect the card from the customer, swipe the card in his POS machine. So the money, if you see, it has to be transferred from the customer's account to the merchant account. So the balance should be checked, whether if it is the balance is available, then that amount has to be transferred. So if you see, a communication will take place between the merchant account and the customer account. And for the communication to take place, it must have a network, right? So that network is this payment network. Okay, so this is the purpose of the payment network, and for performing this function, the MasterCard or Visa or any other payment network, they take a charge from the merchant. Okay, a percentage of the transaction is being charged. So that is called a merchant discount rate, MDR. You would have heard about it, merchant discount rate. That is what is called as the merchant discount rate. So apart from MasterCard, Visa, you also have Diners Club and also RuPay, our own payment network. But this Flipkart SBI credit card is only available on 2 payment networks, that is MasterCard and Visa. Now, what are the cashbacks available? So here if you see, if someone purchases using this card, a 7.5% cashback on spends made on Myntra. So if you buy something on Myntra, a 7.5% cashback they will get. And if you see, 5% cashback if you purchase in Flipkart, Shopify, Cleartrip and all, subject to a quarterly limit of 4,000. Okay, Myntra means 7.5% cashback. The other Flipkart, Shopsy and Cleartrip means 5% cashback. The next news is also about a credit card. So the Unity Small Finance Bank and Bharat Pay together, they have launched this Unity Bank Bharat Pay credit card. Okay, the special feature about this is India's first EMI driven credit card. Okay, this is the special and the most unique feature about this credit card, and this is available in the RuPay network. Okay, this is available in the RuPay payment network. Now, what is this EMI driven credit card? I'll explain this with an example. Say suppose there is a person, okay, he has made a purchase for 6,000 rupees using his credit card. So he has made the purchase in September month and he has to pay the due amount in the October month. That is the billing cycle is in October month. So in October month he has to pay the 6,000. But unfortunately he doesn't have that much of money. So he pays only 4,000 rupees instead of 6,000 rupees, which is the outstanding, which is the due amount. Instead of that, he pays only 4,000 rupees. So what is the remaining amount, or what is the unpaid amount? It is 2,000 rupees. So this is the due amount that he hasn't paid. So now if you see this due amount, it can be converted into a 6-month EMI or a 9-month EMI up to a maximum of 12-month EMI. So EMI flexible tenure of up to 12 months is provided. So the unpaid amount, that because he doesn't have money or some other reason, he is not able to clear that due. That remaining amount, it can be converted into an EMI, 6-month EMI or 9-month or 8-month. Maximum tenure is, it can be converted into a 12-month EMI. This is the maximum tenure. Okay. Now you might wonder, okay, see suppose he has opted for a 9-month EMI. But he had paid 3-month EMI and maybe in the 4th month he has lots of money. Okay, he has got some money. So can he prepay the entire amount? Yes, he can prepay the entire amount. He has opted for a 9-month EMI, but in the 3rd or the 4th month, he has got some money which is enough to pay the entire due. Okay, so can he pay the entire due? Yes, he can pay the entire due without any prepayment penalty. Okay, he is opting for EMI, but if he wants to pay before itself, he can pay without any prepayment penalty. So let us look into the features. First is that there is no joining charges, no annual fees, and no foreclosure penalties, which I just mentioned. And the last one is UPI integration. See, most of the credit cards that are being launched now, they are mostly integrated with the UPI because that is very hassle free, right? It is very convenient for the customers to use. They don't have to carry the credit card everywhere. They just have to carry the phone. So most of the credit cards have the UPI integration facility, and this also has this UPI integration. The next news is about an appointment. The Appointment Committee of the Cabinet, which is headed by the Prime Minister, has appointed Urjit Patel as the India's new Executive Director at the IMF, International Monetary Fund. He will be the new Executive Director representing India. Okay, so before that, if you see who was the Executive Director from India in the IMF, he was Krishnamurthy Subramanian. Okay, so now Urjit Patel, the former Reserve Bank India Chairman, will be the Executive Director in the IMF. The IMF Executive Board, if you see, it consists of totally 25 Executive Directors, and Urjit Patel will be one among them. The next news is about a loan agreement. Here, if you see, it is between the Power Finance Corporation, which works under the Ministry of Power. Okay, this, if you see, it is the Maharatna Central Public Sector Enterprises. So, apart from Maharatna, the two other types are Navaratna and Mini Ratna. Okay, so they are classified into Maharatna, Mini Ratna and Navaratna based on their size, their performance. Based on that, they are classified. Okay, so this Power Finance Corporation and JBIC, that is Japan Bank for International Cooperation, they have signed a loan agreement that is worth 60 billion in Japanese yen. Okay, Japanese yen 60 billion. If it converts into rupee, it is around 3,500 crores. Will the entire money be given by the JBIC? No. There are various other parties also who will be contributing to this 60 billion Japanese yen. So those are Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation, the Joyo Bank Limited, Kansai Mirai Bank Limited and Hiraboshi Bank Limited. So these are the other participants. So JBIC plus these 4 parties together will be providing this 3,500 crores, okay, to the Power Finance Corporation. Now, where will this money be put into use? So if you see, it will be put into use in various activities like Assam Bioethanol Private Limited, okay, to establish what? To establish a biofuel production and power generation plant in the Assam. So in the Golaghat district of Assam, to establish a biofuel and power generation plant, the money will be used. And also here main aim is for bioethanol production using the bamboo harvested from the northeastern state. The main use of the money is for ethanol production, okay. So here if you see, so this money, if you see, it will support the Assam Bioethanol Private Limited to establish a biofuel production and power generation plant in Golaghat district, Assam. And if you see, the bioethanol production using bamboo harvested from the northeastern states of India. So this is where the money will be put into use. So this thing, this Power Finance Corporation contribution, it will help in achieving the India's national policy on biofuel, which is targeting 20% ethanol blending in the gasoline by 2025. Okay, so our government is planning to blend at least 20%. Okay, 20% ethanol blending in the gasoline by 2025. So this is the target. Remember, the target is very, very important. The target of 20% ethanol is by 2025. And this loan agreement and this contribution from the Power Finance Corporation will help in achieving the target. If you see in the world itself, the maximum CO2 emitter, okay, the maximum carbon dioxide is emitted by China. China holds the first place in the maximum CO2 emitter, followed by second place USA and third place India. So India is trying various methods to reduce the CO2 emissions. Next is Jio Payment Bank Limited. It has launched a new product. And what is that product called? Savings Pro. Okay. Now, what does this product do, or what does this account do? See, in the savings bank account of that particular person, if there is any idle fund, okay, say suppose there is idle fund of 5,000 rupees, then that amount will be automatically be invested in the overnight mutual fund. Okay. So this is only for the Savings Pro. If you open an account in Savings Pro account type, then the idle funds in your amount will be transferred to overnight mutual fund. The main purpose behind this is to utilize the idle funds and generate a higher return for the customers. That is the sole objective behind this introduction of the new product called Savings Pro. Remember, Savings Pro introduced by the Jio Payment Bank Limited. Next is about a penalty that has been imposed by the Reserve Bank of India. So RBI has imposed a penalty of 44.7 lakh on whom? On Bandhan Bank. Now, what is the reason behind this? First is the bank had paid remuneration to the certain employees in the form of commission. See, as per the Banking Regulation Act, okay, the banks are not supposed to pay any commission to the employees. They can pay remuneration, salary and all, but it should not be in the form of commission. That is not allowed, but that was violated by the Bandhan Bank. Because of that, a 44.7 lakh, and also one more reason, that the bank staff changed or handled some account data manually in the system. Okay, this is not wrong. Okay, this can happen. Sometimes what, the data would not be updated automatically. Sometimes the software glitch would have happened. Okay, so in that case, the bank employees can intervene and update the data accordingly. Okay, whatever the right data, it has to be updated. That can be updated by the bank. But what happened is that they did not note the details. That is, who accessed the system, what changes did they make, when did they make, all this, okay, the log access. In short, this is called as the log access. This was not noted down. This was the error that they did, and because of these two reasons, 44.7 lakh penalty was imposed by the Reserve Bank of India. Bandhan Bank MD and CEO is Partha Pratim Sengupta. Headquarter is in Kolkata. Next is about the first quarter GDP projection. So the National Statistics Office, which works under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, it has released the first quarter GDP projection. Okay, the first quarter, it includes nothing but April, May, June of 2025. Okay, so this 3 months projection has been released by the NSO. So as per the NSO, if you see, the real GDP growth for the first quarter is expected to be 7.8% and nominal GDP is expected to be 8.8%, real GVA 7.6% and the nominal GVA is 8.8%. Okay.
We have launched a new course called Static Banking Awareness course. Now this course will be helpful for students who are preparing for the banking exams and for the regulatory body exams. And also recently you would have seen Paytm Bank in news frequently. So when an aspirant reads this news, he would have ample number of questions like what is a payment bank, what are the norms for it, and which is the committee that has launched it. So this Static Banking Awareness course lays a foundation to the current banking and finance news. Now, you have to download our Careers Cloud to access this course. Once you have logged into our app, you can go and click this All Courses icon and then you'll be redirected to this page. In this, you have to go and click the Static Banking Awareness course, and under the Details tab, you will be able to see a brief about this course. And under the Part tab, it will contain all the contents, all the topics of the contents that are currently available in this course. We are working on this continuously and this will be completed within 2 months. Under the Free tab, you can go and access one content, that is the origin and development content, for free. You can go and read this content and have an idea about this course. After reading this content, do attend the quiz that is also available under the same tab. Now, our team has allocated ample amount of time and resources to curate this content. We have created this content from various books and from various verified websites. Our content is better than any book that is available in the market. This is because we update this content on a dynamic basis. For example, there are currently 39 DRTs that are available in the country now. In future, if one more DRT is created or added, then it would become 40. So we would update this content on a dynamic basis. But in case of books, you have to wait for the next publication for this updated content. Nowadays, a lot of practical questions have been asked in the banking exams. For example, how many public sector banks are available on the stock exchange? Which is the payment bank that is being listed on the stock exchange? So we try to cover as many practical questions as possible in this course. Apart from this, we also provide you a question bank that will contain around 3000 questions and the previous year questions along with it. We also have a dedicated tab that will release the important RBI notification and the frequent news released by the RBI. You can use this code B15 to avail 15% discount. This is one of the highest discounts that we have offered until now. So do avail this code B15 while you purchase the course.
Most of the time, if you see, the real GDP will always be lesser than the nominal GDP. Do you know why? Because the real GDP is calculated at the constant price and the nominal GDP is calculated at a current price. Okay, so the GDP calculation, the constant year, okay, that is a year, okay, they will fix a year for the GDP calculation for real GDP. So currently, if you see, the real GDP constant here is 2011-12. Okay, so here what happens then, say suppose, for example, let us take the item chocolates. Okay, this is just for an example I am telling to help you understand the difference between real GDP and nominal GDP. Okay, so here in 2011-12 is the constant price calculation, constant year taken, right, for the price calculation. Say suppose that time the one chocolate price was 10 rupees. Okay, so in 2011-12, 100 units of chocolate was produced. So 100 into 10,000 was the GDP. Only, this is just for an example I am telling, this is a hypothetical situation. In that country, only chocolates were produced and overall 100 chocolates were produced. One chocolate price was 10 rupees. So totally if you see, it is 1000 rupees. Okay. Now coming to the current year, 2025-26. And here say suppose we have produced 500 chocolates. So total volume has increased from 100 in 2011-12. We have risen to 500. But the price of the chocolate, if you see, we will take the same price, that is 10 rupees only will be taken. So here what is it? 5,000. Well, this shows the growth. Okay. So this is how the real GDP is calculated, that is using the price. That was 2011-12 price will be used and the current unit of production will be taken. Now let us come to nominal GDP calculation. Okay. For this, I am telling same 2025-26 year, but here I am telling that the production was just 100 units. Okay. Again, just for an example, 100 units, but the price of one chocolate is the current price of the chocolate, which is 50 rupees. Okay. The volume of production, if you see, it is just 100 rupees. That was the same in 2011-12 also. But now, due to inflation, the price of the chocolate has increased to 50 rupees. So total, how much is the GDP now? Nominal GDP, it is 5,000. In 2011-12, it was 1,000 rupees. Okay. In 2025-26, it is 5,000. But what actually happened? The production did not increase, right? The volume did not increase. What actually increased? Only the price. And that is because of the inflation. Does it mean that there has been growth? No, there has not been any growth because only the price has been increased, but the volume has been the same for the past 10 years. So this shows no growth. Okay. That is why real GDP is a very good way of reflecting the economy than the nominal GDP, because nominal GDP may be very high because of inflation, not because of the growth, not because of the volume, not because of the production. Okay. That is the main difference between real GDP and the nominal GDP. Now, they have also given a production sector-wise GDP production. So, if you see in case of primary sector that involves agriculture, mining and all, it is expected to grow at 2.8%. Next, secondary sector which involves manufacturing, it is expected to grow at 7%. And last, tertiary sector like the service sector and all, it is expected to grow at 9.3%. Okay, this is the sector-wise production by the NSO, National Statistics Office. Next is State Bank of India and AFD. Okay, this is a France-based financial institution. They have signed a line of credit which is worth around 100 euro million. Okay, 100 million euros. Why? To reduce the greenhouse gas emission and for climate adaptation measure, to improve the climate of the country. Okay, to improve the The State Bank of India will majorly put this money for green financing, okay, to improve the to improve the renewable energy usage, to improve the environment condition of the country. This is where the money will be put into use. Okay, remember the two parties name, SBI and AFD, and the loan amount involved here is 100 million euro. Next is Asian Development Bank has approved an amount of $125 million. Okay, to whom? To Assam for urban development, urban structure development, urban infrastructure development. The money will be used. So here the urban infrastructure is mainly concentrated on 6 districts and the capital. So 6 districts of Assam include Barbeta, Bongengon, Dhubri, Golpara, Golgatha and Nalbari. Okay, and also the capital of Assam, Guwahati. Okay, these are the places where the urban infrastructure will be developed using the money given by the Asian Development Bank. And let us look into the various infrastructure development. First is the 6 new water plants will be developed. Okay. Next is that 800 km of water distribution pipeline will be built. Last one is real-time monitoring system to reduce the non-revenue water losses to below 20%. Okay. So these are the main things that will be developed using the money. Remember, Asian Development Bank and the loan amount is $125 million. The money will be put into use in urban infrastructure development in 6 districts plus the capital of the asset. Next is Suryodaya Small Finance Bank has launched FD backed credit cards. Okay, sometimes what happens, sometimes some person wants to buy a credit card, but he will not be eligible because he does not have a proper salary and also he does not have a proper credit history. Okay, in that case, he may want to buy a credit card, he may not be eligible. So for them, this will be useful. The two types if you see, or the two variants if you see, first one is the RuPay Select credit card, the other one is the RuPay Platinum credit card. So under the RuPay Select credit card, the minimum FD balance is 1,15,000. Okay, under the RuPay Platinum credit card, the minimum balance is just ₹1,000. Okay, so if you open the FD, so as backing, FD as the backing or as FD as the collateral, a credit card can be issued to the customers who are willing to buy credit cards, but they do not have a proper salary account and also proper credit history. Next is about a GDP forecast by the credit rating agency CRISIL. Okay, so here if you see, as per CRISIL, the GDP, the financial 26 GDP of India is expected to be around 6.5%. That is, India is expected to grow at 6.5% in financial 26. So next, if you see, the Department of Financial Services and the NPCI, they have released the UPI data. That is first time in history, in August 2025, the UPI transaction volume has crossed 20 billion. So 20 billion UPI transactions has happened in the August 2025. So crossing that 20 billion mark for the very first time. And the 20 billion transaction, if you see, this is the volume. Okay, what is the value of this 20 billion transaction? The value is 24.85 lakh crore. Okay, 20 billion transaction happened in August 2025 and the value of the 20 billion transaction is 24.85 lakh crore. Next is Bank of Baroda has launched a collateral free digital financing scheme. Okay, so this is called as the Bob Digi Udyam. Bank of Baroda has launched a new scheme called Bob Digi Udyam. So this is mainly to provide loans to the MSME, okay, micro, small and medium enterprises, to give them loans without any collateral. So without submitting any collateral, they can avail loan under this Bob Digi Udyam scheme. So what kind of loan can be provided under this Bob Digi Udyam? CC, that is cash credit or overdraft, and the loan value can be between 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs. So anywhere between 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs can be provided under the Bob Digi Udyam. Next is Axis Bank has launched the third edition of the flagship initiative called Sparsh. Okay, Sparsh, it is an initiative of the Axis Bank, and now the third edition is going to be celebrated when from September 1st to September 5th. So here if you see, the theme for this edition is Raise the Bar. So here mainly they will concentrate on enhancing the customer experience and also enforcing the leadership presence. So this will be the focus of the third edition. Next is Sohen Lal Commodity Management Limited, which is nothing but a logistics and agri solution company. Okay, SLCM, it is a logistics and agri solution company. It has partnered with the IDBI and the Punjab and Sindh Bank. Okay, mainly if you see this Sohen Lal Commodity Management Limited, it has a lot of warehouses. Okay, it is a trusted warehouse company. So here if you see, the farmers, they can submit their produce, the agriculture produce, they can submit here in the warehouse that are run by the SLCM, and the SLCM will give warehouse receipts that can be go and presented in the IDBI, Punjab Sindh Bank, and against the warehouse receipt, the farmers can get loan. Okay, so that is what is this partnership for, to offer unified collateral management services. This partnership has been signed. The next is about the current account deficit data that has been released by the Reserve Bank of India. So Reserve Bank of India regularly releases this current account deficit. So this is for the first quarter financial 26. So it has gone down to 2.4 billion. So current account, so there is a current account deficit, which means that we have imported more than we have exported. That is, we owe a lot of money than we had given money. Okay, so the current account deficit has been 2.4 billion for this first quarter. It is very less compared to the previous year quarter. So previous year quarter, if you see, that is quarter 1 financial 25, it was 8.6 billion. So compared to that, it is just 2.4 billion this quarter. And the net FDI inflow has been 5.7 billion. Net FPI has been 1.6 billion. Next, merchandise trade is deficit. Okay, merchandise trade mostly ours will be deficit only. So here this quarter it has been deficit with 68.5 billion, but service trade it has been positive with 47.9 billion. Okay, and remittance, if you see, that is people who are residing outside India would have sent money to their family members, right, here in India, that has been 33.2 billion, and the net inflow NRI deposits it has been at 3.6 billion. Okay, just remember that the current account deficit has reduced compared to the previous year's quarter, that is to 2.4 million, sorry, 2.4 billion. Okay, 2.4 billion. Merchant trade has been in deficit. Service trade, as usual, it has been positive. Net FDI 5.7 and net FPI is 1.6 billion. The next news is SEBI revised rules for the intraday index option effective from 1st October 2025. Now, first I will tell what the revision that the SEBI has done, and next I will explain the concept in detail. Okay. First, note the revision. First is what? First is that SEBI has revised the intraday net position limit in index option alone. The intraday net position limit is measured in terms of future equivalent. That alone has been revised. Previously, if you see, it was 1500 crore per equity at end of the day. Okay, so this limit was only measured at the end of the day. That was 1500 crore. But now if you see, now this will be measured throughout the day. Throughout any point of the day, it will be measured, and the new limit is 5000 crore per entity. Previously, it was 1500 crore per entity at the end of the day. But this, if you see, throughout at any point of the day, the new limit is 5000 crore per entity. This is for the index option alone. And for gross intraday position limit, if you see, there has been no change. It remains at 10,000 crore per entity. So this rule will be effective from 1st October 2025, and the penalty, if anyone crosses that 5,000 crore per entity limit, there will be a penalty, but that penalty will be effective from December 6, 2025 only. Okay, new rules effective from October 1st. That penalty rule, it will be effective from December 6, 2025. Now, what is this news actually about? I will explain in detail. Okay. First, you should know what an option is. Okay. What is an option? It is a derivative product. Okay. It derives its value from the underlying asset. So, the underlying asset can be a commodity or a stock or an index. Okay. It can be anything. From that only it derives its value. So, option is a derivative. So now under option, I will explain you the call option for easier understanding. Okay, what is a call option? If any person purchases this call option, it means that he has the right to buy a particular product at a predetermined price. Okay, at a predetermined price, but not the obligation. Okay, right to buy the product at a predetermined price, right to buy the commodity or share or index at a predetermined price, but not the obligation. What does this actually mean? Okay, see, suppose there is a person A. Okay, currently there is TCS. He is interested in buying the TCS share. Currently, it is being traded at 3,000 rupees. Okay, so he buys a call option. He tells in the call option that after, say suppose the call option maturity is 1 month. Again, everything for example, I'm telling call option maturity is 1 month. After 1 month, he's telling that I will buy the TCS share for 3,100. Because this person, A person, is worried that he wants to buy the TCS share after 1 month because he will get the money only after 1 month. But he is worried that what if the price of the TCS increases to 3,600 or to 4,000? So he is worried. Okay. So what he'll do is that he will buy the call option. So in the call option, he said that after 1 month, I will buy the TCS share for 3,100. So after 1 month, what happens is that he buys that one TCS share for 3,100 only. Okay, say suppose after 1 month, the price of the share increases to 4,000, the market. But still, this person can buy the amount, buy the TCS share for just 3,100 and not for 4,000 because he had bought the call option. Okay, next, what happens then? Another thing is that after 1 month, okay, the price of the TCS share, it goes down to 2,500. So, will he execute the call option? That is, will he buy the share price at 3,100 or will he buy it at 2,500 for a cheaper price from the direct market itself? That time, he will not execute the call option. Okay, because he can buy the share, the TCS share at a lower price from the market itself. then why would he execute the call option? So he will not execute the call option in this case. That is why I am telling he has the right but not the obligation. So he does not have the obligation, right? So he will not execute the call option. He will buy the TCS share directly from the market. Okay, so this is what is the call option. One more thing is that while buying a call option, a person must pay a premium. Okay, generally the options are sold in lot size. Okay, so the lot size, it will vary. For example, let us say this share lot size, this TCS share, one call option. If you buy one lot, it means that it has 100 shares. Okay, one lot has 100 share units. Then you have to pay a premium for that. Say suppose it is 2 rupees per share. Then 200, one lot has 100 shares, right? So 2 into 100, 200 is the premium that you pay. Okay, so when you buy a call option, when you purchase a call option, you have to pay a premium amount. So here if you see, he will pay a premium amount of 200 and then buy the call option. So apart from this expenditure of buying the TCS share, he also have another expenditure of paying a premium amount. When a person buys a call option, he has to pay a premium amount. In this case, I am telling 2 rupees per share, which means 200 rupees. So when the person doesn't execute the call option, that time if you see, his loss will be limited to this 200 rupees, right? Because he has paid 200 to buy that call option, but he has not executed the call option. Rather, he is going and buying the share from the market. So here the loss is just this 200 rupees, right? But if he executes the call option, in this case, generally if he executes, when will he execute the call option? When he thinks that it is profitable, right? So the profit that he makes minus the 200, this will be his overall profit. Okay, 200 is the premium amount that he has paid, right? So the overall profit that he earned will be the profit that he makes from the difference between the share price in the market and the share price in the call option minus the premium he has paid. That will be the overall profit that he makes when he executes the call option. And when he doesn't execute the call option, the loss is just limited to the premium amount that he pays. Okay, this is how a call option works, and this is how a person earns from a. Now coming back to the news, the revision that the SEBI has mentioned. Okay, first what we saw, first the intraday position limit, right? So first of all, what is intraday? Intraday means the people, intra-trader or intraday means that the transaction takes place the very same day. Okay, when you buy a share, you sell the share very same day. That is nothing in your demat account. Okay, there is nothing in your demat account. You buy and execute the trade the very same day. So if you buy a call option, then you have to execute the call option the very same day or sell the call option very same day. You cannot hold the call option for more than one day. That end of the market, suppose in our case, if you see India, the market ends at 3:30. So by 3:30, you have to have either executed the call option, either sold the call option. Either of this should have happened. You cannot hold the call option beyond the market hours. That is what is called the intraday. That day, the trading happens during the day itself. It gets completed during the day itself. Okay, this is what is called intraday. So what is this intraday position limit means? Okay, so it means that, say suppose there is a person A. Okay, here this is case of this news is only in specific of index options. Okay, not other options, just index option. Just like TCS they sell option, or TCS options are sold. Similarly, index options are also sold. For this example, let us say Nifty 50. Okay, Nifty 50 index option. Nifty 50 is an index. Index is what? Index, it has multiple shares in it. Okay, index Nifty 50 means it has top 50 shares in the market. Okay, top 50, which are top 50 in terms of market capitalization. The top 50 are mentioned in this Nifty 50 index. Okay, so they sell Nifty 50 options are available in the market. Okay, so Nifty 50 options are available. Say suppose that person has bought the Nifty 50 Nifty 50 call option. Okay, again for example, I am telling Nifty 50 options. Okay, that contract, it is also called as contract. This person has bought 50 contract, and one contract it will have, that is one contract or one lot, it will have 75 units of Nifty 50 index. Okay, one contract or one call option, it will have 75 units. Okay, in case of Nifty index. So in case of TCS share and all, the number will differ. The lot size will differ from index to shares and all. For in this case, in this example, it is Nifty 50. So 50 call option and one call option or one lot will have 75 units. So totally how many units he will have? 75 into 50. Okay, these are the Nifty 50 units he is having. Okay, so A has bought 50 call option of Nifty 50 at morning 10 a.m. At 12 a.m. he has executed 20 Nifty call option. Okay, he has executed 20 Nifty call option. Okay, now at 3 a.m. there are how many call option will be remaining with him? There are 30 call option remaining. Okay, so at 3 a.m. we will see at the position what this person A is holding. Okay, so this A is holding, if you see, it is holding 30 call option of Nifty 50. Okay, this is the net intraday position. Okay, value I'll tell. Okay, this is the number. I will tell you how that value is calculated. That 1500 crore per limit at the end of the day. The new limit is 5000 crore at any point of the day is right. How is that calculated? I will tell you in the next slide. For now, you have to remember that the net position now, if it is the 30 call options. Now, what is this value of the 30 call option? I will tell you in the next slide. Don't worry. Okay. So now, if you see 30 call option, this is the net. Okay, because 50 he has bought and 20 call option he has executed. So remaining what? 30 call option is there. So net now if you see at 3 p.m. Sorry, this is 3 p.m. not 3 a.m. At 3 p.m. This is also 12 p.m. Okay, at 3 p.m. if you see it is 30 call option he is having in his account. Okay, before 3:30 he has to execute the 30 call option. Okay, because it is an intraday trade. Fine. This is called the net. In the previous slide we saw, right, the net was 30 call options of what? Of Nifty 50 index. Okay, so this was the net. Now what is this value of this 30 call option? How it is calculated? Okay, this is calculated in terms of future equivalent. So what is future equivalent? Future equivalent is a standard way to express the trader's total exposure in derivative. So what is the trader's exposure in the derivative? So option is a derivative, right? So what is the trader's exposure in the derivative? That is calculated in the form of future equivalent. Now what is that formula? Formula is number of lots into lot size into delta into price of underlying asset. Number of lot. So here we have assumed that it has he has bought 50 lot. Okay, 50 lots of call option, right? And lot size, one lot size is 75. We saw, right? Now one lot size of Nifty index option is 75. What is this delta? Okay, I will come to delta. Before that, price of the underlying asset. The price of the underlying asset, here the underlying asset is the Nifty 50 index. So what is the value of Nifty 50? Let us assume it is 20,000. Okay, I think in the market currently it is around 24 to 25,000, but let us assume it is 20,000. Okay, so here the price of the underlying asset is 20,000. So what is this delta? See, delta, it is a number that tells you how much the price of an option will change when the price of the underlying asset changes by 1. Okay, because we know that option is a derivative, its value is dependent upon the underlying asset. In this case, the underlying asset is the Nifty 50 index. The Nifty 50 index, the value keeps on be changing, right? Depending upon that, this delta will also change. Okay, so delta is a number that tells how much the price of an option will change when the price of the underlying asset changes by 1. Okay, if it changes by 1 or if it decreases by 1, the delta will also increase or decrease accordingly. Now, if you see this delta, it is published by the stock exchange, so you don't have to know the value. The delta value is published by the stock exchange. So, whatever value is being published by the stock exchange for this Nifty 50 index, that value you have to insert here and then calculate the value. Okay, then calculate this future EQ. Whatever comes that value, okay, it should not be more than 5,000 crore during the day. During any point of the day, this value for an entity or for an institution or for an individual person, it should not exceed 5,000 crore. That is what is the new rule is saying. Okay. So, if you see the SEBI has told the stock exchange that you have to take at least 4 snapshots. Okay. And check. How will you check whether that particular entity has crossed the limit or not? By taking snapshots, right? So, the SEBI has told the stock exchange that you have to take at least 4 snapshots during the day and check the value, whether it has breached the limit or not. Okay, the limit is 5,000 crore during any point of the day. This is in case of net. In case of gross, if you see, now how is the gross calculated? Gross is nothing but 50 plus the sold amount. The sold amount is 20, right? See, 50 call options has been bought and 20 call options has been executed. So the gross is 70 call option. Now what is the value of the 70 call option? Again, that is also calculated using this formula, and that if you see, it should not cross 10,000 crore at any point of time. Okay, that should not, the gross should not cross more than 10,000 crore and net should not cross 5,000 crore during any point of the day. Okay, for that 4 snapshots the stock exchange will take, and especially at least one snapshot should be taken between 2:45 to 3:30. Okay, this is the time the options are traded at a very peak. Okay, the SEBI has told the stock exchange that you have to take a snapshot, compulsory snapshot between 2:45 to 3:30 p.m. and check whether it is following the limit or not. Okay, you understood? This is what is called the intraday position limit, that is 5,000 crore new limit, which is effective from October 1st, and gross limit, if you see, it is the same 10,000 crore. There is no change in that.
Thank you for watching the session. I hope you had enjoyed it. We're also available in Telegram under the name AffairsCloud_official. We also have an Instagram handle. Thank you.